humility, be able to basically listen to you and try to get the job done. He is among the very few upcoming Indian leaders who is very much connected just with the Western world, especially, as I said, even to Carnegie Mellon, and then to Stanford, and then back here, that who can connect on both sides of the ocean in a very effective and efficient manner. So Nara, it's good to have you back as the minister. We're delighted. And on that note, I'm going to ask John to come in and just speak for a few minutes before we hand it over to Virat. John, over to you.
When you look back 10 years ago, when we talked about the transformation that was going to occur here in India, there was almost an overconfidence from us in America that we could help you make that transition. And we didn't realize that you would help us more than we ever realized. And it is that win-win you now see emerging. And when I first started to come here and look at what was possible in this country, candidly, it was Prime Minister Modi, but it was also what Andhra Pradesh was doing and Chief Minister Naidu was doing there. And so the concepts that I learned, and you all taught me very well, I went back to my poor home state of West Virginia, and I ran an instant replay. We started with a vision of what the state could do. We got the Democrats and Republicans both to agree on it, which in America we almost never do anymore. We bought in and changed the university in terms of their curriculum. They began to focus on AI. They began to focus on big data, supply chain. Our business school went from 74% of the graduates getting jobs within 6 months to 94%. And we took 35 startups and folded them underneath the university in terms of direction. And that team is now coming out here to India here in 2 months, our head of our Senate, head of the House, to talk about what we can do. The point is, I think we're learning from each other. But there's been no state that does it better than yours. And I just want to thank you. But it's also what I'm going to challenge us more on. I think we will learn together how do we really learn from each other and raise the economies and the job creation. So it's an honor to be a very small part of your success, and I love the partnership.
Thank you, John. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to have Minister Lokesh here today. As Mukesh was talking about Stanford and a glass of wine and make comfortable, the minister said under his breath the conversation over a glass of wine would be off the record. This one is on the record. We're also very fortunate. I want to thank the forum for arranging this. This is Minister Lokesh's first big public outing in Delhi. So we're all very fortunate to have him here today. Thank you. Everybody's heard of him. We've sort of imagined who he would be, and then here you have him in flesh and blood to sort of talk about the state and his ambitions and what the state government hopes to do. I'm going to start with the Stanford question. He spoke about it. There are not a lot of senior ministers in the government in states who would be with that background. So it's a very, it's a distinctive one. So if I could ask you, how do you put that to use? What do you do? What do you use of that in the governance models that you're adopting? It's always intriguing for us to understand when you come back from that. We know how to do it in business and some other parts of the society, but in politics, how do you use that as a governance model?
First off, thank you very much for having me, and thank you, Viraji, for hosting. I mean, I've seen the power of an ecosystem. I mean, if you look at what Palo Alto and the greater Bay Area is, it's because of one institution. So I truly believe India needs to focus on building ecosystems. Politically, it might sound correct to do different projects across the country, but if they have to sustain for the next 100 years, I believe in the power of ecosystem, and that's what we are doing in Andhra Pradesh. The second aspect that has had profound impact on me personally, and from Stanford Business School, is for our finals, we never had invigilators. So there's no one. And that left a profound impact on me on the need to build character and integrity and make that part of our culture, our rhythm, and in education. So when I did talk about this to our Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu, He said, good. So you have to deal with human resource development, PG and skill development, and IT and electronics. So you can do that better. And that was the task given to me.
Thank you. I'm going to jump right into another project that Andhra has taken immediately after election, something that is quite unique. The Prime Minister has announced the Viksit Bharat project, which is 2047. And then Andhra, as one amongst the first states to have announced what is called Swarna Andhra 2047. This is a very unique state-level project, also very much in keeping with Mr. Naidu's vision, pioneering everything, going out there, doing it, taking the big targets, putting it down for themselves, for the bureaucracy, for the stakeholders, businesses, and has a lot of sectorial policies that are in that. I'm told there is industrial policies, renewable energy, IT, GCCs, data center, cloud, building on the vision of a tech-driven Andhra. If you could elaborate a little bit about